Good morning, Rockets. This is Miss Clarkson coming to you today to talk to you about starting out in the personal project process and preparing to meet your personal project supervisor for the first time. So if you remember, 2 weeks ago, you started the personal project process by beginning your proposal. You started filling out your proposal on ManageBack and expressing to your supervisor what it was that you were interested in. Today, you'll learn about the process that we follow for supervising the project, and you'll have time to finish your personal project proposal if you haven't done so already. So let's get started. Your supervisor, who is either a teacher, counselor, or administrator here at school, is there to be a guide throughout the process. You'll meet with them approximately every 3 weeks from October through February to help you plan and take action towards meeting your final goal. This Friday, you'll be meeting with your supervisors. We use an altered bell schedule in order to meet with students during lunch. On Thursday afternoon, you'll get an email notifying you of where to meet your supervisor. On Friday, there will be no RMBC. School announcements will be held at the end of fourth period. In your fourth period class, you'll get a yellow piece of paper that will tell you where you're supposed to meet your supervisor. At 11 a.m., when school announcements start for the rest of the school, you should leave your fourth period class and go to your assigned location in order to meet with your supervisor. It's important that you understand that your supervisor also may have a fourth period class, so they will probably not be there when you get there. You need to sit and wait for them to get there. They are planning to meet with you during lunch, and it's important, particularly for this first meeting, that you wait for them to get there in order to leave you both the time needed to talk about this. You should not plan to go out for lunch on Friday. You will be meeting with your supervisor at lunch. Again, the rest of the school does not get released from fourth period until 11:10. You should wait until at least 11:15 or 11:20 for your supervisor to get there. Keep in mind that they may be coming from another classroom. If your supervisor is not in school on Friday, you will get a pass saying that your meeting will be rescheduled. Later, you will receive a pass letting you know and reminding you on the day of that meeting. Your supervisor's job is to be a guide through the process. They may not be an expert in your topic or even know anything about it at all, but they're there to provide suggestions and advice on how to navigate the process. It's your responsibility as a student to take action on the project between your meetings. Your supervisors will use the handbook as a guide to help you structure your meetings. Before each meeting, you should collect up all the work that you've done so far and make sure that your supervisor can access it. You should complete the pre-meeting reflection questions in your handbook. During your meeting, you'll be sharing what you've done so far, discussing the guiding questions with your supervisor, and you'll be taking notes on those discussion questions in your handbooks. After each meeting, you'll record what you discussed based on your notes in ManageBack, and you should take action on the items that you discussed with your supervisor. In between meetings, you'll complete required assessments on a Canvas classroom. This will be discussed in more detail next week during RocketTime. First, take a look at your handbook. On page 3, you have a list of all the due dates and deadlines for the personal project. These due dates are sometimes facilitated through RocketTime, and in other cases, you'll have to complete things on your own. This page outlines all the required parts of the project, along with due dates and deadlines, with reference to the pages in the handbook. Next week, we'll talk about how to use the Canvas classroom in order to submit parts of the personal project process. Now turn to page 28 of your handbook. These are the guiding questions for your first meeting with your supervisor. Take a moment to read the guiding questions, and later during this period, you'll have some time to answer them in the space for notes below. These are the questions that you'll be discussing with your supervisor on Friday. 2 weeks ago, you started work on your proposals. This should have been completed on ManageBack by October 5th. If you haven't done so already, you need to take the time during RocketTime today to complete this step in the process. The proposal is what you'll be discussing with your supervisor on Friday. In addition, you have a preliminary journal entry, which you should also complete on ManageBack. In the Journal tab, click Add New Entry, and then answer the 2 guiding questions. Why are you interested in the topic, and why is it personal to you? What do you hope to learn from research throughout this process? To review, today, during RocketTime, you should complete the following things if you haven't done so already. Finish your proposal on ManageBack. Complete your first journal entry, also on ManageBack. Answer the pre-meeting questions in your handbook on page 28. Make sure that you clip your handbook into your folder and write your name both on the handbook itself and on your front cover. You'll be getting your supervisor's name and assigned location later in the week. You should use this folder to keep track of all of your materials for the personal project. This may include passes that you received for your meetings. It may also include the handouts from the first 2 weeks of RocketTime. If you need help accessing ManageBack, you can see Ms. Clarkson in room 200, the IB office. On Friday, you'll be getting a pass again at the end of 4th period in order to guide you towards your supervisor. Some of you may have missed materials that have been covered during RocketTime. Those materials are all stored on the Student Resources page of the Personal Project website. If you go to the link below, you can see that Student Resources page. All of the videos that we've covered over the last couple of weeks are stored there, along with the handouts and any other materials that have been shared. Click on the Student Resources page, and on the menu on the top right-hand corner, you'll see all these materials under the Project Launch area. I hope that you're excited to meet with supervisors on Friday, and if you have any difficulty accessing ManageBack, please come see me in room 200. That's it for today. Next week, we'll talk about how to use the Canvas classroom in order to submit components of the personal project. For now, get to work on your proposals if you haven't done so already, and answer those questions so that you're prepared to discuss this with your supervisor on Friday.